I'm Jill Henning, and I'm a triple negative breast cancer survivor. When I got diagnosed, we had just come back from sailing in Maine, chartered a 40-foot sailboat. When I first felt the lump, we went from this really high to this like unbelievable news.
The feeling of dread that a person feels at that moment. Even though I deal with this all the time, I still feel like I probably can't truly imagine what that feels like.
And so at that point, they scheduled me for a double mastectomy. Came back and did more chemotherapy, more preventative to make sure there weren't any cells that were left anywhere in my body, and then 37 rounds of radiation. Then I lived for 4 years not knowing, to then end up having a cough. It was back in my lungs, in my esophagus, and in the lymph nodes in my breastbone area. At that point, when you're stage 4, there's no cure.
She knew that if she didn't do something different, her outcome and her lifespan could be quite limited. And she was a woman, in the prime of her life. She had young kids, she had a meaningful job, lots to live for. So this trial was comparing the standard of care at the time, which was chemotherapy, to chemotherapy plus immunotherapy for triple negative breast cancer. And she wanted in. So I said, yes, bring her to me.
When you're in and out of those doors every week, you get to know the people that are there. They all know everyone's story, and they're walking with that each and every day. To know that you have somebody who cares about you and knows who you are in that process. Never did I feel like I walked through the door and I was just a number or I was just a pathology. It was a place of healing. It was a place of caring people.
And I think the people who come to work here are people who really want to take care of these patients and really get a lot of satisfaction and gratification out of that job well done. Her disease really melted away. Her cough went away. Her imaging several months in started to look much better and then eventually looked clean. Jill's story really was semi-miraculous.
And I've been 5 years with no evidence of disease. I kind of feel like it's not real because of the incredible work Winship Cancer Institute and the access to that care, that if I hadn't had that, I wouldn't be here today. As women, so often we're too focused on everyone else, caring for our children, for our spouses, for our families, that sometimes we don't make that a priority and we skip those mammograms, or we don't do that self-breast exam, or we don't ask the questions we need to ask. And so, being able to share my story, if someone decides that by hearing my journey, that they're going to make their appointment and go see their doctor, then, I'm happy to tell my story 1,000 times over.